Arrow Video continues to release things on Blu-ray that I either never owned or own what Arrow makes now inferior versions of, or are just the kind of movies that I love. And this would be one of them. This from 1976 is Jack Hill's Switchblade Sisters, originally released as The Jezebels. This is a New World Pictures silly drive-in, trashy, kind of mostly intentionally funny female gang movie. This is sort of an update of, teenage gang debs and the female-skewed juvenile delinquent movies from the 50s. A lot of New World films tended to be spoofing the AIP films of, a decade or two earlier, and this kind of does that. So basically what you have is there's this female gang, rough and tumble ladies. They're sort of the mates or the counterparts to a male gang who just, they're a gang. They're a bunch of toughs who mess stuff up and are generally obnoxious. And so you have a new girl who comes into the gang, and you sort of are introduced to the Jezebels through the eyes of this one woman who runs up against them in a hamburger stand, which is just it's one of those moments where I just want to step into the movie. It is like a glorious 1970s California roadside hamburger stand where you can read the prices, and that's entertaining in and of itself. Is to see for literally pocket or chump change how full a belly you could get, at least in terms of how we value what money is worth now, and just the old signage, and that's something I find a lot of times too when I'm watching these old films on Blu-ray where the transfers are so razor sharp. Like this one, Switchblade Sisters, has for me never looked this good. Apparently there was a recent German Blu-ray, and some people were asking me, how does it compare to the German release? I got no idea. I didn't buy the German release. I've never actually, as far as I know, I've never owned Switchblade Sisters on video. But it looks better than it did the last time I saw it. The last time I saw it, when Tarantino was like white hot and Miramax was like, anything you want. They gave him a releasing company called Rolling Thunder Pictures, named after the excellent William Devane action movie from the 70s, written by Paul Schrader, Rolling Thunder. And he was able, with that heat that he had, to get some old 70s trashy movies back into theaters or on home video. So he had released, Mighty Peking Man again, and he released Switchblade Sisters. I think Switchblade Sisters might have been the first thing that he took on with Rolling Thunder, and actually got it new print struck and got it into theaters again, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. And he had a home video release. So Switchblade Sisters, you meet the gang through this girl. You see as she rises through the ranks and how she interacts with various members of the female gang and the male gang, and how they try to infiltrate other gangs and go undercover. And there's turf wars, and there's violencia, and there's sex, drugs, rock and roll, and fisticuffs aplenty. And it's 70s clothes, and it's 70s cars, and it's 70s music. And I kind of dig the 70s. So I loved it. And the movie is far funnier than I remember it being too. Again, many Jack Hill films. Like many Jack Hill films, too, and Roger Corman movies, it does have a little social comment in there. There is, they do visit, if they're not called that, it's sort of the equivalent of the Black Panthers, and talk about, what they stood for. And there is stuff about, free meals for kids and education and all that other stuff that is touched upon in a far more serious film, Judas and the Black Messiah, recently. But we're talking about Switchblade Sisters. Jack Hill does get a little serious message in here and there, like Corman always tried to do, amidst all the skin and the bullets and the stabbings and the chains and gang fighting. So it's a hell of a lot of fun. It is, as I say, phenomenal looking. I can't even say it. I've been struck dumb, or dumber, by how good this movie looks. And it's just a heck of a good time. And it ends with this wonderful, defiant moment that seems like it's setting it up for a sequel. And boy, do I wish they made another one, because I could have hung with the Jezebels for another 80 to 90 minutes pretty easily in the late 70s. I think it would have been a really fun time, but it was never to be. We still have Switchblade Sisters, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. So what are the extras on this? This is Arrow, and Arrow is known for two things. Well, Arrow's known for three things. One is the films look better than they ever have on video before. Two is they put out really great stuff that seems to be appealing almost solely to me and my friends. And extras. What do we got? First of all, we have a new commentary. Sam Dayton and Kat Ellinger. As I say, Kat Ellinger is sort of like the Dick Miller of extras on Blu-rays. If Kat Ellinger's name is on a Blu-ray, that release has been made better by her presence, whether it's a video essay or a commentary or a booklet or whatever it is. She knows her stuff and she's very fascinating and does great research. Sam Dayton and Kat Ellinger do a commentary on the film, which is very entertaining, very informative and insightful. Then there are archival, they call them, interviews with some of the cast, and that's just stuff that's carried over from previous releases, which is a-okay with me. Sometimes these are presented in standard def because they were done for a DVD or even a VHS release sometimes. And then you have some vintage trailers. Now the trailers, I will get pitnicky a little bit. Some of the trailers look a little weird. They look like maybe they were transferred from PAL. They're a little smeary. They don't look as good as you think they would look. And some look like they might have been like sort of modern recreations of the old trailers with sort of the titles look a little newer. It's a nitpick, but it's one of those things for me where it's like, I would rather see maybe a slightly banged up trailer, maybe a new transfer of something somebody has, than something that's fake. Like I know VCI sometimes is guilty of that, where they'll cut a new trailer to the sound or exactly to the original trailer so that it looks good. But to me, it looks phony. It looks new. I don't care for that. At any rate, it's a very, very minor quibble. You can find these trailers elsewhere. The movie itself, Switchblade Sisters, is a total 70s drive-in blast, and the extras are a lot of fun, and it's a great release, and I'm seriously pretty thrilled to have it. So I say thank you, Arrow Video, for putting out Switchblade Sisters on Blu-ray.